and today I'm doing the Harry Potter spells book tag, the Harry Potter spells tag. I don't know what it's called. It's the Harry Potter spells tag. That's the tag I'm doing, but it's also a book tag, so something. In case you didn't know, Books for MKs is a charity that donates books to missionary kids. If you want to donate to the kids, you can do so at gofundme.com. There's a link down in the description, and there's a button at the end of this video where you can donate to the kids. I was inspired to do this tag because I found a really cool Etsy shop named Wicked Good Perfume. And they sent me a free sample of their perfume in exchange for a free and honest review, and this perfume is called Old Books. This stuff smells, well, it smells like old books. It really does smell like old books. I don't know what smell that smell is, but now I smell like old books. Many thanks to Wicked Good Perfume for sending me this lovely sample. And as a little extra, they sent me this thingy of eyeshadow. And it's Meteor Shower, so it's kind of a grayish, silvery color. I am definitely gonna be trying that out next time I do my makeup. So they have a lot of different scents, some of them that are inspired by books, and they have a lot of different, types of makeup and everything, and they're all cruelty-free and free from harmful chemicals. There's no toxins or anything in them. And there's also a discount code specifically for my followers and subscribers. So I will put that up on the screen and down in the description so you can follow those links and use your discount code over at the Wicked Good Perfume Etsy shop. So the reason that this inspired me to do the Harry Potter spells tag is because it reminded me of Amortentia, which is a love potion, and if I were to smell Amortentia, I am certain that one of the things that I would smell would be old books and maybe like tea and rain or something. I don't know. If someone were to give me a love potion, it would probably smell like old books. I saw Super Space Chick do this tag, and so of course I wanted to do it because, Super Space Chick did it, so now I have to do it. The first spell is Expecto Patronum, and you have to show a childhood book that is connected with a lot of good memories. When I was a little girl, we had this collection of Peter Rabbit and Other Stories by Beatrix Potter. As you can see, it is quite old and, faded and kind of messed up. It's got like some little, crayon markings in it in a couple of places. Old book smell. This is definitely full of a lot of very, very fond memories when I was a child of my parents reading this to us before bed, and then later on as we grew up and were able to read ourselves, we would read it over and over again. There's just something so sweet and innocent about these childhood stories that fills me with joy. Next is Expelliarmus. Expelliarmus? Is it Expelliarmus or Expelliarmus? I don't know. Anyway, it's a book that took you by surprise. For this, I am definitely going to say Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. It is full of twists and turns, and it took me by surprise several times. Like, plot twist, and you're gasping, and then 5 chapters later, another plot twist, and you can't believe what just happened. It is just full of suspense and mystery. Prior Incantato. I thought it was Prior Incantatum, because that would be plural, because it's Latin and stuff. Is it Incantato or Incantatum? I don't know. Anyway, it's the last book that you read. The last book that I read, I actually finished reading last night, was Cousins in the Castle by Barbara Brooks Wallace. This is a gothic melodrama written for children, and it is full of disasters and kidnappings and, mysterious disguises and orphans that are forced to, eat greasy porridge and stale bread, and it is just delightfully terrible. I mean, not that the book is terrible, but like everything that happens to the characters is terrible, and it's so funny, and I loved it. Alohamora, you have to show a book that introduced you to a genre that you had not considered before. I've never been much of a sci-fi reader. I pretty much stick to fantasy, but my sister insisted that I had to read Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and I loved it, and more I have been delving into sci-fi and enjoying it immensely. Riddikulus, a funny book that you've read. I actually have two answers for this. Pippi Longstocking has always been one of my favorites. There are several Pippi Longstocking books, and they are all hilarious. And the other is the Mrs. Pigglewiggle books. Mrs. Pigglewiggle is this delightful old lady, and all of the children in the neighborhood love to come to her house to play because she is silly and fun and just knows how to talk to children. And of course, with a name like Pigglewiggle, you know it's just going to be utterly hilarious. Sonorus, a book you think everyone should know about. For this, I'm going to choose Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. This book has been changing people's minds about Christianity and what it means to be a Christian for decades, of course. And every time I reread it, I find something else that really speaks to my heart. And I think if more people read it, they would understand what Christianity is all about a little bit better. Obliviate is a book or a spoiler you would like to forget that you have read. I would like to forget having read Allegiant. I think we can all agree that we were not happy with the ending of the Divergent trilogy. Allegiant just kind of disappointed most of us, I would say. Some people out there love Allegiant, that's fine, I'm glad for you. But I kind of wish that I had just read Divergent and stopped, because I did not need any of the rest of it. Imperio, a book that you had to read for school. In college, I had to read quite a lot, of course, but one of the ones that I really enjoyed reading for school, for college, was The Scarlet Letter. This is such a classic, and of course, so many people love it. And I remember when I was reading it, I didn't necessarily enjoy it, but it made a really big impact on me. I think the writing is just so full of big ideas, and it's very forceful writing. And the story is so tragic and dramatic and full of emotion and everything. So definitely a book that stays in your memory. Crucio, you have to choose a book that was painful to read. Many years ago now, I read The Case of the Dog in the Nighttime, and this is about a child with autism, and it's told from his perspective, and I think it was just very badly written. I have had students with autism at different levels on the autism spectrum. I have a cousin who's on the autism spectrum, and I just thought that it was just very badly represented, and I hated every character in it, and I did not think the writing was very good, and it was just painful to read. It was terrible, and I hated it. I will link my review to that book somewhere up above and down below so that you can see how much I hated it. And next is Avada Kedavra, and you have to pick a book that would kill. So either you would die reading it, or it's so big and fat that you could just kill people by knocking them over the head with it. I don't know. Somehow this book would just kill you. For this, I have chosen Cornelia Funke's or Funk, or I never know how to say her name, but I love this author, and I have chosen the last book in the Inkheart trilogy, which is Ink Death. And with the name Death in the title, then yeah, this is a book that could kill you. And I was not exactly happy with the ending to this trilogy, and so reading it, it was disappointing in certain areas of the story. I was disappointed, so in that way, it could also kill you because you're an unhappy reader. Also, it's kind of massive. It's like 600, 700 pages. I don't know. It's kind of big. So if you dropped it on someone's head, then they would probably have a concussion. And maybe they would be dead. I don't know. So my question for you guys is, I'm going to add kind of an extra question to this tag. It's going to be amortentia. And what would you smell if you were smelling that love potion? What smells like love to you? I bet it's probably old books. Thanks Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.